The emergency beacon screamed across subspace, its urgent signal reaching every corner of the galaxy. Within hours, every civilized species received the same terrifying message. The Devourers had returned. Admiral Sarah Chen stood in the command center of humanity's newest battle station. Her dark hair was pulled back in a tight bun. Her brown eyes focused on the holographic display, showing enemy ships advancing like a black tide across the outer rim. The Galactic Alliance Council chamber erupted in panic. Delegates from 12 species shouted over each other in fear. Chancellor Vex of the Altarian Republic slammed his four-armed fist on the table. "Order," he bellowed. "We must evacuate the outer colonies immediately." Ambassador Marcus Wright, humanity's representative to the Alliance, stood slowly from his seat. His weathered face showed no fear, only grim determination. "We're not running," he said quietly, but his voice carried across the chamber. The other delegates turned to stare at him. The Kalari delegate, her crystalline skin flickering with anxiety. "Humans cannot be serious. The Devourers destroyed the Ancients, a civilization that ruled the galaxy for 10,000 years. Wright nodded calmly. "That was then. This is now." Chancellor Vex's scales rippled with disbelief. "Your species joined the Alliance only 50 years ago. You have 12 worlds. 12 worlds against an enemy that consumes entire star systems." Wright smiled slightly. "Sometimes size doesn't matter. Determination does." 3 days earlier, on the human colony world of New Terra, Dr. Elena Vasquez rushed through her laboratory. Her team of scientists worked frantically around glowing energy cores. "We're running out of time," she said. "The Devourer fleet will reach the outer rim in 72 hours. Her assistant, a young man named David Park, looked up from his calculations. "The quantum resonance cascade is ready for testing, but we don't know if it will work on their scale." Dr. Vasquez checked her chronometer. "Then we better find out. Activate the prototype in the depths of space, near the edge of Alliance territory." Captain James Rodriguez piloted his scout ship through an asteroid field. His mission was simple: get close enough to study the Devourer fleet and return with tactical data. What he found changed everything. The enemy ships were massive, each one the size of a small moon. They moved in perfect formation, consuming everything in their path: asteroids, planets, moons. All matter was absorbed and converted into more ships. Rodriguez activated his ship's quantum communicator. "Fleet Command, this is Reconnaissance 7. Target confirmed. Estimated enemy strength, over 10,000 vessels, all heading for Alliance space." The response came immediately from Admiral Chen herself. "Confirmed Recon 7. Return to base immediately. We have work to do." Back on Earth, in the underground facility beneath the Swiss Alps, General Patricia Stone briefed the Emergency War Council. "The Devourers operate like a machine," she explained to the assembled leaders. "They consume matter, convert it to energy, and use that energy to build more ships." President Michael Harrison, a tall man with silver hair, leaned forward in his chair. "What are our options, General?" Stone's expression was grim. "Conventional weapons are useless. Their ships regenerate faster than we can damage them. The only species that ever stopped them were the Ancients, and they're gone." Secretary of Defense Angela Rivera studied the tactical displays. "What about the other Alliance species? Surely together we have enough firepower." General Stone shook her head. "The Kalari have already begun evacuating their core worlds. The Altarians are mobilizing their fleets, but they're planning to retreat to the galactic core." President Harrison stood up and walked to the large window overlooking the mountain valley below. "What do our people want to do?" Stone smiled for the first time that day. "Every human colony has voted. Sir, we fight across human space." The response was immediate and overwhelming. Colony ships changed course, heading away from the enemy advance, but not to flee, to fight on Mars. The massive orbital shipyards worked around the clock, building vessels no one had ever seen before, sleek ships with unusual energy signatures and weapons that bent the laws of physics. Dr. Elena Vasquez stood in the observation deck, watching the construction. Her quantum resonance technology was being installed in every ship. It was humanity's secret weapon. Based on research the ancients had hidden in their final message, the ancients had left clues, scattered across dead worlds, waiting for someone brave enough to find them and smart enough to understand them. On the Alliance homeworld of Nexus Prime, the Council met in emergency session. Species after species announced their withdrawal. From the outer territories, only the human delegate remained. When the others finished speaking, Ambassador Wright activated his holographic projector, showing the positions of human fleets throughout Alliance space. The evacuation transports from other species would need protection during their retreat. We'll provide escort for any civilian ships, Wright announced. No one gets left behind. Chancellor Vex looked confused. Your fleets should be retreating too. Why risk human lives for other species? Wright's answer was simple. Because it's the right thing to do. In the Kepler system, on the edge of Alliance territory, the first battle began. 12 Devourer ships encountered a human patrol fleet. Captain Lisa Park commanded the destroyer Defiant. As enemy vessels appeared on her tactical display, all ships. This is Defiant. Actual. Weapons free. Engage at will. The human ships were smaller and appeared defenseless against the massive Devourer vessels, but when the first quantum resonance torpedo struck its target, something extraordinary happened. The enemy ship, instead of regenerating its damage, began to dissolve, its matter breaking apart. At the molecular level, Captain Park watched in amazement as the massive Devourer vessel simply disintegrated into space dust. Target destroyed, she reported. Moving to engage next hostile. Within an hour, all 12 enemy ships were gone. Humanity had won its first victory against an enemy that had never been defeated. The news spread across the galaxy. In hours, impossible, said Chancellor Vex. When he received the battle report, the Devourers cannot be destroyed. They regenerate all damage. Ambassador Wright smiled. They regenerate conventional damage. Our weapons work differently. We attack their ability to hold matter together. Back at the secret facility on Earth, Dr. Vasquez explained her discovery to the assembled leaders. The ancients left us the key. In their final research data, the Devourers aren't really alive. They're artificial, created by a long-dead species. As the ultimate weapon, President Harrison leaned forward. Artificial. How does that help us? The quantum resonance cascade disrupts their control matrix. Dr. Vasquez continued. It's like cutting the string of a puppet. Without central control, they fall apart. General Stone studied the tactical implications. How many ships can we equip with this technology? All of them, said Dr. Vasquez. We've been mass-producing the resonance generators, every human vessel, from fighters to battleships, now carries the technology. In space above New Terra, Admiral Chen reviewed the fleet positions with her senior staff. The main Devourer force would reach Alliance space in 48 hours. Humanity had that long to prepare their defense. Admiral, we have incoming transmission, announced her communications officer. It's from the Alliance Council. Chancellor Vex appeared on the main screen, his forearms spread wide. Admiral Chen, the Council has voted to withdraw all forces to the Galactic Core. We advise humanity to do the same. Admiral Chen's response was calm, but firm. Negative, Chancellor. Humanity stands guard. Someone has to protect the evacuation routes. But you cannot win, Vex protested. Even with your new weapons, they have thousands of ships. Chen smiled slightly. Then we'll destroy thousands of ships, one at a time if necessary, across human space. Families said goodbye, as their defenders prepared for battle, but there were no tears, no despair, only pride and determination. On the agricultural world of Haven, 12-year-old Tommy Chen, son of Admiral Chen, watched his mother's ship disappear into hyperspace. He stood with his grandfather, former Admiral Robert Chen, on the observation deck of the orbital station. "Will Mum come back?" Tommy asked. His grandfather put a hand on the boy's shoulder. "Your mother is fighting. For everyone in the galaxy, Tommy. Not just for us. That's what humans do." The old man pointed to the stars. "We don't run from bullies. We stand up to them. Even when the odds are bad." Tommy nodded, understanding more than his years suggested. "Mum's gonna win, isn't she?" Robert Chen smiled. "She's going to try, and sometimes trying is enough." The Devourer main fleet emerged from hyperspace. At the edge of Alliance territory, their ships blotted out the stars, a dark mass of consuming hunger, moving toward civilized space. Admiral Chen positioned her forces at the Meridian Nebula, a natural choke point that would force the enemy into a smaller formation. Her fleet was tiny compared to the approaching swarm, 300 human ships against 10,000 alien vessels, the largest naval battle in galactic history was about to begin. On the flagship Intrepid, Admiral Chen addressed her fleet over the communication network. Her voice reached every human ship and every crew member prepared to fight. "Today we face an enemy that has never known defeat. They have consumed entire civilizations, turned whole star systems into raw material for their war machine." She paused, looking out at the approaching darkness. "But they have never faced humanity. They don't understand. What makes us different from every other species they've encountered? We don't fight just to survive. We fight to protect others. We don't retreat when things get hard. We stand our ground. And we find a way to win." The enemy fleet began to accelerate, their massive ships moving into attack formation. Admiral Chen gave her final order: "All ships, prepare for quantum resonance barrage. Fire when ready." 300 human ships opened fire simultaneously, their quantum torpedoes streaking across space like arrows of pure energy. When the weapons struck, the Devourer ships began to disintegrate, their artificial matter losing cohesion, dissolving into cosmic dust. But there were so many. For every ship destroyed, 10 more took its place. The human fleet fought like never before, but they were vastly outnumbered. Admiral Chen watched as the destroyer Courage was overwhelmed by enemy fire, its crew of 200 lost in seconds. "We're taking heavy casualties," reported her tactical officer. "We've destroyed over 1,000 enemy ships, but we're down to half strength." Chen nodded grimly. "Maintain formation. Keep firing. We hold this line across the galaxy." Other species monitored the battle, amazed by human courage, but expecting defeat. The mathematics was simple. Humanity couldn't win. On the Kalari homeworld, Prime Minister Zara watched the battle reports. With her military advisors, "They're actually hurting the Devourers," said General Kef, his crystalline features showing surprise. "No one has ever damaged their ships before, but they're going to lose." Minister Zara replied sadly, "There are simply too many enemies. We should prepare to remember their sacrifice." In the battle zone, Captain Rodriguez, now commanding the cruiser Perseverance, fought alongside his fellow humans. His ship had taken heavy damage, but continued firing, its quantum resonance array still functional. "Bridge, we have multiple contacts." His sensor operator called out, "Enemy ships converging." On our position, Rodriguez checked his weapons status. "Stand by all guns. We're not done yet." Suddenly, his communications officer looked up with excitement. "Captain, I'm receiving a transmission from Admiral Chen. Fleet-wide broadcast." The Admiral's voice filled every human ship, still fighting in the nebula. "Attention, all vessels. This is Admiral Chen. Phase 2 is now active." Across human space, something extraordinary began to happen. Every human colony, every space station, every outpost and settlement activated hidden transmitters. Dr. Vasquez, standing in her laboratory on New Terra, initiated the sequence. She had spent months preparing quantum resonance cascade, network-wide activation. In 3, 2, 1, execute. The effect was immediate and devastating. To the Devourer fleet, every quantum resonance weapon in human space fired simultaneously, creating a massive wave of destructive energy that swept across the galaxy. The wave reached the battle zone and amplified the weapons of every human ship. Their quantum torpedoes became 1,000 times more powerful, tearing through the enemy fleet like fire through paper. Admiral Chen watched in amazement as enemy ships dissolved by the hundreds, their artificial matter unable to withstand the resonance cascade. But the most incredible sight was yet to come. As the wave continued outward, it reached every Devourer ship in the galaxy, destroying them wherever they were found. The ancient enemy that had terrorized civilizations for millions of years was gone, eliminated completely by humanity's determination to protect others. In the aftermath, as rescue ships searched for survivors, Admiral Chen received a priority transmission from the Alliance Council. Chancellor Vex appeared on screen, his forearms trembling. "Admiral Chen, what have you done?" "Our sensors show the Devourers are gone, completely destroyed." Chen smiled wearily. "We did what needed to be done, Chancellor. We protected the galaxy." "But how?" asked Vex. "The Ancients, with all their technology, could only drive them away. How did humans succeed where they failed?" Admiral Chen looked out at the debris field that had once been an unstoppable enemy fleet. "Because we learned from the Ancients' research, but more importantly, we never forgot who we were fighting for." She paused, letting her words sink in. "The Ancients fought to save themselves. We fought to save everyone else. That makes all the difference." Across the galaxy, the news spread quickly. The Devourers were gone. The ancient threat had been eliminated forever by the youngest species in the Alliance. On Earth, President Harrison addressed the planet in a broadcast that reached every human world. "Today, our sons and daughters proved something important about who we are. As a species, we don't seek glory or conquest. We don't demand others bow to our strength. We simply stand up when standing up is needed." The cost was high. We lost good people, brave people who gave their lives so others could live. But their sacrifice means something. It means the galaxy is a safer place for everyone. 3 months later, in the rebuilt Alliance Council chamber, Ambassador Wright sat with representatives from 15 species, including 3 that had been hiding from the Devourers for centuries. Chancellor Vex stood to address the assembly. "The Alliance owes humanity a debt that cannot be repaid. You saved us all when we were too afraid to save ourselves." Wright shook his head. "We don't want payment, Chancellor. We want partnership. The galaxy is big enough for all of us to work together." The Kalari delegate, her crystalline skin now glowing with warmth rather than fear, asked the question everyone was thinking. What does humanity want? From the Alliance? Name any price. We will pay it. Wright's answer surprised everyone. We want the same thing. We've always wanted to be part of something bigger than ourselves, to help where we can, and to learn from others. He looked around the chamber, at the faces of beings. From across the galaxy, the universe is full of wonders and dangers we haven't even imagined yet. We're stronger when we face them together. Back on New Terra, Dr. Vasquez worked in her laboratory on new projects, peaceful ones that would benefit all Alliance species. Her assistant David looked up from his research. Dr. Vasquez, I've been wondering about something. She looked up from her calculations. What's that, David? Why didn't we use the quantum resonance cascade as a weapon before? Why did we share the technology with others instead of keeping it secret? Dr. Vasquez smiled. The same smile her grandmother had worn when teaching her about right and wrong. Because, David, power isn't about what you can destroy, it's about what you choose to protect. On the human world of Haven, Tommy Chen, now 13 years old, stood in the same observation deck where he had watched his mother leave for battle. Admiral Chen had returned safely. Along with most of her fleet, the victory had been costly, but complete. Tommy held his mother's hand as they watched ships from dozens of species dock at the station. Traders, explorers, scientists, all working together to build a better galaxy. Mum, he said quietly, will there be other enemies? Other threats, like the Devourers? Admiral Chen squeezed her son's hand gently. Probably, she said honestly. The universe is a big place, full of unknowns. But Tommy nodded. Then we'll be ready, won't we? His mother smiled. Yes, we will, because that's what humans do. We stand ready to protect what matters. As they watched, a new ship arrived. At the station, it carried the flag of a species no one had ever seen before. Explorers from beyond the galactic rim, seeking trade and friendship. Ambassador Wright, who had come to Haven for the memorial service of those lost in battle, greeted the new arrivals with the same warmth. Humanity had always shown the galaxy was vast, full of mysteries and potential dangers, but it was also full of opportunities for friendship, cooperation, and wonder. And humanity, the species that had once been dismissed as young and insignificant, now stood as guardians, not rulers, but protectors of all who called the galaxy home. In the years that followed, the story of humanity's stand against the Devourers became legend, told on countless worlds, in hundreds of languages, to children who would grow up in a safer galaxy. But the humans themselves never forgot the lesson they had learned in that desperate battle among the stars. Strength without compassion is just brutality. Courage without purpose is just recklessness. And victory without honor is just conquest. Humanity had chosen a different path, and in doing so, had shown the galaxy what it truly meant to be strong. The stars still held mysteries and dangers, but they also held hope, friendship, and the promise that when darkness came, there would always be someone willing to stand in the light, and more often than not, that someone would be human.